What's up, guys? I am sad to announce that it is time for some weird stories again. Let's just pray that it does not get too weird and that we will make it through this with our brains still intact. Let's get straight to it. My boss has been giving me muffins made out of his sperm for 3 months, and honestly, I'm not that mad. After high school, I went on to work as a receptionist at a building near my house. The job paid really well and worked with my schedule as I was still in college at the time. I had a few work friends, and I had gotten pretty close with my boss. He was really nice, and honestly a pretty good-looking, well put together man. Every morning he stopped at a coffee shop before he came in. After about 5 months of working the job, he started to bring me muffins on the mornings I worked. Of course, I always ate the muffin, and honestly they were probably the best muffins I had ever had. I never thought that he could have been flirting with me because I thought he was giving muffins to other employees. Until one morning when he came in, he brought me the usual, a muffin, and asked if I wanted to grab a drink or dinner with him after work, all casual. I was single and he was pretty good looking, and being young I didn't really think about or even cared about how it was my boss, and that it might be a little weird. I accepted his offer, and that night we went to get drinks and dinner at a bar nearby. I formally thanked him for the muffins and told him how they were the best muffins I'd ever had. It wasn't until then that I regretted bringing them up. He thanked me and responded with, "The secret ingredient is love." I thought he was just flirting, but he was serious. Later that night I found this out. Well, one drink led to another and I found myself in his apartment. When we were both laying in his bed, he confessed, saying the secret ingredient in his delicious muffins is actually his own sperm. Taken aback a little, I paused. At the time, I was honestly kinda scared. I stayed calm until I got home, when I did a lot of thinking. I was kinda shocked that I wasn't more mad that this man had been feeding me muffins made out of his actual sperm. Maybe I kinda liked it. Bro. Nah, seriously, bro. I don't know if it can get weirder than this. And you liked it? Let's just move on to the next story. I don't even want to think about it. Through childhood memory, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all a nice little story real quick. This is a true story too. Most of my family still remembers. For as long as I can remember, I had a strange affinity for corn, like addiction level love of corn. One day during the summer when I was like 8 or something, we went to a barbecue at one of my great-grandma's houses out in the backwoods of Little Falls. They got a lot of corn and meats and stuff, made it all up on Grandpa's grill. It was rad. They ended up getting a hell of a lot of corn too. The corn was really damn good, like the best grilled corn I have ever had in my entire life. They had more corn than we could all eat, but I liked it so much I kept getting literal cob after cob. My family tried to warn me not to eat much corn, but they didn't really stop me, so I kept going. This is a fucking year old eating entire cobs of corn one after another, man. I can't remember exactly how many cobs of corn it was, but I remember it was somewhere in the 20s. I was feeling fine for a while, even wanted more corn, but me mom stopped me. A little later that night I found out why they told me not to eat much corn. I'll spare you the gritty details, but I had the shits for about a week. My parents even considered taking me to a doctor. Well, that was weird, wasn't it? Corn is nasty, by the way. On to the last story, which I really don't reckon could possibly be the weirdest of them all. My dad knew I was near even while asleep a few years ago. During my 8th grade freshman year, my parents would take my phone at night. You know, I just have to give it up around 9 to 10. Naturally, I disliked this, and it was especially annoying on the weekends. I would often sneak downstairs at night to retrieve it, taking every precaution to ensure I wasn't detected. I would sneak down during the dead of night, tiptoeing down the stairs as I eyed my parents' open door. It wouldn't even end when I left the stairs. I would army crawl across the floor to where they kept it, so as to be sure they wouldn't hear the floor creak. It would often take me 15 minutes just to get my phone and come back to my room, but I think that was part of the fun. One such night, I was about halfway down the stairs when I noticed a form on the couch. It was pitch black and I didn't have my contacts in, so I wasn't sure if my eyes were deceiving me or if there really was a person on the couch. I note the couch sits directly astride where my phone was placed. I continued down the stairs, but even slower this time. It felt like hours until I finally arrived on the floor, army crawling over to the couch. I looked up to see if it was my dad, and thankfully it was. That also made me extremely nervous. because if I made a single sound then I knew I'd be in a lot of trouble. I was halfway to my phone when suddenly the hairs on the back of my neck stood up as my dad sleepily muttered "Excessikum 123. Go to bed." I looked behind me and he hadn't moved. Hell, he wasn't even looking at me. I quickly grabbed my phone and ascended the stairs. The whole time I wasn't sure if he was messing with me, and the next morning I looked for any signs of him eyeing me funny or any sign that he remembered the really weird thing that happened the night before. It still ranks as one of the weirdest experiences of my life. How did he know it was me and not one of my siblings? And how did it totally leave his waking mind? Yeah, okay, I'm so done for today and weirded out to the max. Bye, guys.